Hello everyone, and welcome back to Dyson Sphere Program. We are on episode 6 already. If you remember in the last episode I can't zoom in any better, we got science up and running. Just blue science, blue cubes, but that is something. And if you also remember, oh look at that, we just researched the wireless power towers, which I'm going to get to in 1 second. If you also remember, we upgraded our power a little bit over here. And then we started on our other lines for smelting. Now, based on this, we're not even using one full belt at this time. But as soon as we start upgrading into steel, which is what we're going to do next, which is going to go right about here, or maybe over here, we're going to need it. Because steel requires, let's check. Steel you can't make in a replicator because it requires, I don't know why, it just doesn't. There's certain things you can make in hand, steel you cannot. But basically, if you look at the recipe, it's a 3 to 1. So it's 3 iron plate per 3 seconds. So it's basically 1 input per second. So you can have 6 inputs on one line, but you're only going to be outputting about 2, if that makes sense. So my steel array will be a little bit different, which we'll get to in 1 second. Now, what you saw researched just a minute ago was the wireless power towers. And I can make 4 of them. Actually, I'll make 3. I don't want to use up all that stone. And let me show you what that actually does. So my mech right now is about half power. You place 1, 2, 3, and watch how fast it charges. Look at that, how quickly it charges. That's amazing, right? Now, the wireless power towers take a lot of power to run. So you gotta use them sparingly, especially in early builds like this. Because if we would have to charge from full, this power would likely go all the way up to 100%. Now, as we were talking earlier, as we're researching vein utilization for the entire planetary system, I want to get steel going. I think we can make steel, right? Yeah. So steel, as I said earlier, is a little bit different. Now, because, oops, too many tabs. There we go. Is you're going to be using a full input belt, but you're only going to be outputting a partial belt. Just because it takes 3 seconds per. You have 3 of them is 1 per second. You have 2 is only 2 per second. If you double that up over here, you're only going to end up with 1, 2, 3, 4 per second. Now, you could run another line here to make a full belt of 6, but since we only have enough miners set up for 2 more full belts of input, we're not going to do it that way. But we can get the recipe set already, and as we said before, we're not going to place all the inserters down. We're going to let our bots do it. Just going to let that one finish. And sometimes I'm not exactly sure why they choose to place certain things before other certain things. I don't know what the algorithm, I guess you call it, is, if that's the right term. I'm not really sure what determines that. Universe Exploration Level 2. Able to view the vein research in the whole planetary system. We're going to get to that in a minute. Now, when you are outputting from 2 machines or 2 anything onto one belt, you can't put the inserter directly across. But all you do is you stagger it. Not a big deal, because if you're copy pasting, they all will copy paste the same way, and it's perfectly fine. And here we still got to place our power poles. You always need power poles. And then here, I just want to get one. If I can click on it, get one box set up, and I'm going to do this a little bit differently and just do that. And then we're going to just put some inserters. And as I said before, right now we can stack up to 2 storage boxes and up to 3, oh, we can't see them from here, over the horizon, 3 matrix labs piece. Okay, so this one just needs to set the recipe, merit less than key, greater than key, shift, left click, drag, tab, done. Very, very simple. And all we got to do now is hook up these runs. So it's not the hardest thing to do right now, but it takes time I can click the right button. It takes time because we are limited with with the speed of our robots, which up here we are researching a bit more things. Actually, I can't research that yet, can I? I can't research that one yet for some reason. This one we don't have steel that we're working on. So we can get down here, and you know what? I made a silly mistake. So it's good that I caught that. Now, of course, I'm a little bit embarrassed about that, but what I forgot to mention is that steel doesn't require iron, or it requires iron plate. So steel, you can't set up, as you witnessed, you can't set up like a typical smelter build. You have to add another step. But that's not hard at all to do. So very easily we just take these away, take all this away, and there we go. And all we gotta do is change this to iron. We copy paste again the same recipe. Oh, missed one, and there we go. And then all we do here is we click. That's not gonna work. So here, we'll do it like this. Because smelters you can't place right next to each other. It doesn't work. You have to space them out like this. Now we can run the output belt. Now, of course, I made a silly mistake, but I wanted just to show you, based on doing the mistake, that it's real easy to recover from that. I basically didn't cost me, if the bots would have been a little bit quicker, it would hardly cost me any time at all to get this up and running. So even if you make mistakes, they're easily fixable, and you shouldn't worry yourself too much about that. Now the only issue now is that we can't put another array here, but we can put one right over here, and there's no harm in running things a bit spaghetti like. There's nothing wrong with that. So my happy mistake is going to be your benefit, if you want to call it a benefit. I'm actually going to do it like that just for continuity's sake. But look, already now we have steel, and all the icons on the belts, I believe they're still just placeholders. Assuming eventually this will actually look like steel bars. The iron plate will look like iron plate. The ore will just be little pieces of ore. They're not quite up to that step yet, which I don't have a problem with. I think it's perfectly fine that they're not. Thank you, autosave. Now while we're jibber jabbering here, I want to put down some charging towers, and hopefully my bots will actually build them, because we're not out of power. I got to get some more coal, of course, but look how quickly your power regens, because right there they're regenning at 10 megawatts per second. In your power generation is only 800 kilowatts, so it's around 11 or 12 times faster to recover energy by using the power towers versus just using coal or whatever fuel you have. Once you start getting up using hydrogen, and then I'm not sure what's above that, it's not the strange matter fuel, whatever it's called. Once you get up to that level, well then obviously you the power towers don't have as great of a use, but they still are very useful, because as you gain drones, as you gain speed, it all takes more power. Actually don't need to wait around for that. I can just come over here, and because I made that silly mistake, let's get charged up again. You'll see a running theme here. See if these will charge. Oh, and one other tip with the wireless power towers is they have a distance. Can I make one more? I don't want to. They can travel long distance. So power poles only reach about, I don't know, a few, maybe 2 or 3 blocks. And the turbines reach two or three blocks. But these reach, I'll show you right now, these reach much, much further. Look how far away that is. I'd say it's probably 3.5 full segments here. And now we are charged again. But I'm just going to leave these for now, because I want to come in here and I want to have another setup of steel. You say, well, this is doing it silly. Why are you doing it like this? Well, I just want to do it like this. Again, as I say, just to get something up and running. Because as soon as we can get planetary logistics set up, most of this is going to be, it won't be taken down because I have a problem with deleting things, you could say. But in the meantime, I'm just going to connect these up, and then we're going to just have to do a bit of a wait because I kind of did it a bit janky here, which again, it's not a big deal. Our research is going just fine. Actually, you know what? We need a few more items. We need some circuit boards. Like, we have some steel, we need circuit boards. And if you remember in the last episode, we actually put some chests that we can actually grab a stack. Actually, I'm going to grab all the stacks of these. And sometimes you can put the storage boxes at the end of a run. That way you're not taking away from something else. But for this instance, it's perfectly fine. Look at all that steel. Unfortunately, look at our inventory. It's getting quite full, and you can only dump so much. So if your inventory starts getting full, you click on what you don't want, and you hit the delete key. Stone, don't need that. We don't need these few gears. The rest of the stuff I will keep. And as I said, if you want to pick the stuff back up, you click this, and you just click and drag. You hover over the item, it'll pick it up. Or you just hit erase, and it just deletes everything. Pretty quick the way that does that. So we're just going to wait, and look at that. As I'm talking, we are having blinking lights. What does that mean? That means we are drained on our power. Now you saw what I'll address that in a second. So you know how I was saying that these really take a lot of power? Right now we're at around 70%. Watch what happens if I want to try to charge myself. It drops to 30%. So you have to use these very sparingly, or you're going to end up having a bad time. Let's just click and drag the rest of these across. Oopsies, too far. There we go. Inventory is good now, because like I said before about our inventory, look now, we have a whole nother slot down there. So we are good to go. I'm not sure if I even want to connect this smelting array up, but I think we will, because why not, of course. It'll take a while for the bots to finish the rest, but I need to address power. Already we're addressing power. And based on our inventory, we have no thermal power generators. So guess where we're going to go? We're going to go to the hub. And the hub has a full stack. Now, we're not going to need a full stack, but we are going to come over here. And I don't know the exact amount that you can run off one belt as far as with the coal generators. I'm thinking we're pretty much maxed out here with it. So we can actually just put another... Perfect. We have one more construction zone. We're already flying through this research. I want to put in... I can't really squeeze it in here any better than I am now. So we're just going to kind of do it like this. Again, one of the episodes when we do one, we're going to just work on setting up like a big time power array. Now, I may do that off camera. But I like doing things so that everybody sees it. Because, you know, we're all... Well, a lot of us are learning. This is our first time playing the game. That's not going to work there. I think I can do it here and do it... I got to get out of the way. There, do it here, and do it there. And then do this one here. I don't think I can fit another one in there, but that's okay. I want to get this power up and running. Let me know what you guys think. I know I'm recording episodes kind of ahead of when the other episodes are being released. I'll eventually get caught up. But let me know what you think. If you want me to keep doing everything on camera. Wow, look at that. We have a goal. Reach a total power per generation of 20 megawatts. That's amazing. Right now we're generating 25. We're using 12. And that's likely because I'm not charging myself at all. So let's see if we can fly over there before we drop our power. And power's gone. But you know what? That's perfectly okay. We're going to walk over here. What is wrong with steel? Oh, this is why the power is so not lacking. Because I totally forgot to let the drones build the build the batteries, or excuse me, build the batteries, build the belts. Now, if you look already, we're charging with three chargers, 3 towers, and we're almost at 100%. But also, we are now going to be, we shouldn't be charging still. There we go. Let's just get the rest of these built. Because if you see, we now have one extra drone. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. As soon as this gets hooked up, they'll start producing, and our power is likely going to go right back close to 100%. There we go. And then that one's just going to feed to that. So this is a bit of a janky setup. But again, I don't have any foundations to place in the water, and I'm just letting it run. I'm not worrying about it. So we have a couple more to do. Let's right click out of the build menu. Let's check our power. We're doing okay. Let's see what happens when these start running. It'll jump up a little bit, but I think we will be okay. Not too worried yet. And there we go. Perfect. Thank you for the autosave at a perfect time. Now, as I was saying, this is only going to produce 2 per second, and this is only going to produce 2 per second. So normally I would just run another one of these arrays down here, but again, I don't have foundation, so we're making it work. And let's see how much. And there we go. Now we actually research foundations. Now that I speak about it, when you want to view the stacks of your storage, if you click on the top one, unless the bottom is full, it won't show anything. So you got to make sure you're clicking on the right one. And look at that, we got a bunch more steel, which is great. So this will continue to run. We're only producing at 4 per second. So it's not a lot, but it's fine. Now, before we jump into the next set of building, which I think is going to be possibly looking at, let's see, what are we looking at? Is probably, actually, you know what? I know what we want to do. We want to get work on graphite smelting, which will greatly improve our efficiency in our thermal power generators, as well as our mech power regeneration. Because if you look down here, we're only regenerating 800 kilowatts, and the core power is only 80 kilowatts. So we're only generating 880 kilowatts per second, which is not a lot at all. So once we can get the graphite in there, this fuel power number will jump up to, I believe, around 1600 kilowatts, because it has a 50% increase. So maybe it'll jump, put it this way. So one thing I want to do yet, before we get onto something else, is we want to look at the tech tree. Now this is the upgrades. Do we want to work on more upgrades, or do we want to work on tech? Let's see what we can actually research. We can do mech frame. I don't have those yet. I got to research that. That we can't do. That we can't do. This is one thing I do want to do. That I can make right away, because I have over 100 of them. And I think I can actually unlock 150 facilities. That will leave for now. This this I can't make exactly yet. Drone engines, flight speed. We definitely need flight speed. And then my drive engine, I can't go any faster yet. Vertical construction is good, but we can't do it. Vein utilization is good, we can't do it. Okay, technology. I think it's actually finally time to do electromagnetic drives, work on fluid, because you can kind of jump ahead with some of this science, but then other science you can't. It's also good to research everything now. I mean, some of these things you're not going to be using right away. Solar panels are good. Crystal smelting, I think I'm going to leave. I don't need that right yet. Titanium we don't need yet. We can't do. This is what the next step would be to this, and then we got to get to planetary logistics. But we're not at doing the red matrix yet, which is called here the energy matrix. But you know what? We can start to focus on that. We can start getting. This is plasma extracting. This is where you get your oil extractors and your extractors in your refineries, and you can start making your light fuel, or light oil, I guess is called, and your hydrogen, which those are items that are used. The hydrogen is just used into making red cubes. So let's go down here and let's queue that up. We're kind of getting to the point of red cubes. I don't think we'll be there for another episode or two. But then once you start getting red cubes, you can get in here and you can unlock a whole bunch more tech, like drone engine speed, and the amount of drones you have control, and here you can do 2 researches there just with red cubes. Mech core goes up, frames go up, everything is good. You can do this, so it's a lot of, or sorry, not that, but the red cubes are a big jump as far as tech goes. But for now, we have a lot of things that are being made. We have the blueprint system, which I will touch on maybe a bit later. Once I get it, I will open up my blueprint book just to show you a couple that I have already, and they kind of save throughout your game. You don't have to make new ones every time. They kind of import themselves into your game by itself. So while I'm looking at this, you notice that this is blinking. What this means is it's telling you that it's lost at least 1 node, because now we're down to 6 veins and 6 veins. So there used to be another node here, another vein here. These arrows are indicating that 1 node is out, and that I believe also that this one is getting low. But I believe one has been expired. Just like over here, this probably went away because I ignored it long enough, because we only have 5 left, and I know we started with at least 6 or 7. Which again, this is where your starter base, your starter little hub area, can only last so long. Now, luckily, we're pulling in iron from a different patch up here, so we'll be okay as far as that goes. But making things like this is really not struggling, because we don't need these, so to speak, yet. And actually, because I don't want to actually use up all that, I'm just going to knock that back down. There's your blueprint library. This is fine. I just want to let that back up a bit. I don't want to use up more of this than I have to. Let the go to there. These were good with power. We're good with power. So there we go. The next thing I want to work on is, we're going to end the episode very soon, but I want to stop flying around and wasting power. I want to pull up my M menu and hit N, orient myself. I want to start working on getting some energized graphite. Now I can do some down here, because there's a big patch of it here. There's a bit of space to build, or I could do it up here, which we're starting to get up into away from the equator a bit, but it should still be doable to have a couple arrays set up. Or I mean, I could do it here, I could do it anywhere, but I want to do it close by. I don't want to have it everywhere, and I think those are the 2 closest veins that we have. I do want to set up a proper foundation setup, which might be over here, because again, it takes a long time to make foundations. Down here we don't have any stone, tons of coal down here, but we don't have, look at that, we have 4 big patches of coal, which is kind of great because we can really set up our graphite production. But I think for now we're just going to, I think we're actually going to go up here and do it. So what we got to do is we got to get some more glass, which you don't have. Oh, I should make glass too. Again, you always run out of things to do. Or sorry, you never run out of things to do in this game. I think it's kind of impossible. Let's just get some glass made, because I'm going to need glass for the wireless power towers, which I actually have some over here that I want to pick up. Where did I put those? Do you see them? No, they're over here, because I don't need them there. I like to keep them on hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to place one down, because we got to get over here to this coal patch. So we're going to place one as far as it can go. Let's just place it there. It looks good there. And I wish I had some foundation. Now I think you can handcraft some. I can make 66, which will take 66 seconds. So let's just craft a bunch, because I like to fill in at least a little bit here to show you how that works. And then I'm also going to need some to tap this. Now, let's look at that. My drones are now 2 meters per second faster, which is a huge improvement. Huge improvement. Let's look here what energetic graphite needs. So basically, it's similar to steel. Steel was a 3 to 3, which is a 1 per second. And then the energetic graphite is a 2 to 2 per 1 second. So basically, you can run 12 smelters to output onto 1 belt to compress it. So that's what we're going to do. And I think we can, just to get ones going for now, because you use energetic graphite in red cubes as well. So I want to have this as a little bit of a backup for that, but mainly to eventually set up a big power network and to start feeding the rest of this for power. So we're not going to have much time to work on that today. Let's just kind of start here and just get the basics of this setup. But look how much faster the bots are already. It's amazing what a little bit of what a little bit of research can do for something. It's really good actually. Let's get a little bit set up here before we have to end the episode. And look, the bots don't look that much faster probably to you, but to me they look a lot faster. And eventually your bots can carry, your drones, I keep calling them bots, your drones can carry more items so they can place more than one thing at a time, which is also really kind of great. Let's just expand. Oops, and I tabbed way too far there. And I can't do that last one yet. And that last one isn't going to place properly, but that's okay. Look at that, I did that almost perfectly. And now we're really flying through the science. Now. Let's get, I'm going to be able to put, well, just for one, we're just going to do it like this. We are getting low on time here, so I don't want to go, come on, can you grab a bunch more, please? I just want to set up one machine just to show you the graphite production. And plus I'm getting low on belts too, so that obviously isn't gonna help. So let's just connect this with power while we're here, and I want to just get a little bit of graphite made just to kind of show you what that looks like, and then we'll call it an episode. We'll call it an episode there. So the miners are mining right now. I just have to wait for them. Or wait for the drones. One of the two. Oops, we need one more power tower down there. Good. The episode's getting a little long. Sorry for that. I just want to get this made. And just to show you where are we at here. Are we producing any yet? And yes, we will be producing any second. The drones just have to finish. I also need to plop down a couple of these to start getting my my power back. There we go. We have a couple of graphites being made. I'm just going to steal them off the belt here, just to show you. So if you remember, coal is 2.7 megajoule, 0% fuel generation. The energetic graphite is 6.5 and 50% bonus. So if you slot that, you see how fast the coal. Whoops, I gotta get rid of these so my power actually drains. See how fast the coal drains? If we switch it to graphite, watch, it goes at less than half the speed. So that's the benefit of making energetic graphite. As soon as I can make it, I make it, and I pretty much ditch the coal because it lasts so much longer. And your fuel generation down here, like our fuel power generation now is 1.2 compared to 0.8. Again, a big step up. Okay, cool. So we're going to end the episode here. We got a little bit of stuff done. We got steel set up. We had a little silly mistake. Now you tell me whether I did that on purpose or not to see if you guys are paying attention, or if I did it by accident because I wasn't paying attention myself. And then we worked on graphite, and we got our text set up a bit. And we're going to work on red cubes next episode. Thanks for watching.